When you're shooting outside, your biggest challenge, as well as your biggest help, is going to be the sun. We always need to be aware where is the sun and what kind of light are we getting from it. The biggest factor related to that is going to be the time of day, how high or low the sun is, as well as the amount of cloud cover we have. On an overcast day, the sun is going to give us very soft light. That makes our job a lot easier if we're looking for soft light. Now, what happens if we want to shoot in the middle of the day, the sun is really high, and we have very little clouds? So, in other words, some of the harshest conditions that we generally try and avoid. But we often find ourselves needing to shoot outside at that time of day. So today we're going to talk about how we can work through that and get some really nice light. We're going to assume that we don't have really large lights, HMIs that can compete with or overpower the sun. All we have are really simple modifiers, really accessible tools that will allow us to cut the light, bounce the light, and diffuse it. So with that, let's head outside and we'll take a look at a couple different lighting setups to work with the sun. One of the simplest ways to shoot outside is to diffuse the light and to just shoot with the sun. And so for that, what we love is the 8x8 scrim gym. Now you just attach these frames together and then you can put different fabrics on. You can get a full flag if you want to block off light. You can get a 3/4 stop or 1 1/4 stop diffusion, different strengths. You can even get a solid white if you want to bounce light back in. For this example, we're going to use both a 3/4 stop and a 1 1/4 stop diffusion to show you the difference in how much light it cuts. Now all we're going to do is hold this 8x8 frame with diffusion up in between our talent and the sun and look at how soft the light becomes on their face. Right away we're able to shoot and get a very strong image. Also keep in mind to really think about your background. An 8x8 frame is rarely going to be large enough to cover both your talent and your background, so you want something that's going to look good out of focus. Here we just chose light falling through the leaves, and when we diffuse the light on our subject, it has a very pleasing balance between the foreground and background.
Instead of bouncing the light, here we're going to shoot with the light and diffuse it. If you want to soften the light even more, here's a 1 1/4 stop diffusion.
So for this example, we're diffusing the sun and using it as our key light, but we can get more out of the sun. We could actually use the sun as both our hair light and our key light. So for that, what we want to do is place our talent facing away from the sun and have the light positioned behind them. Then we're going to take a smaller scrim gym, just a 4x4, put a solid white fabric on, and we're going to bounce light back in as our key. Now it comes with a really handy clamp that goes right onto a C-stand, so you can really quickly raise the scrim gym up to get the right direction for your key light. From there, what you're going to notice is that the balance of your hair light to your key light is usually much too strong. In order to cut down our hair light, we're going to pull out a fast flags kit and use the double net. Now you may recall that a double net just cuts light. It does not change the quality of light. So we're going to hang a double net in between the talent and the sun, thereby cutting the light down and reducing the ratio between our hair light and our key light. So here you have it, a 4x4 scrim gym with a solid white fabric, bouncing light back in as our key light, and then a double net at the back, cutting down the sun as our hair light, and you get a really nice balanced image.
Welcome to sunny California, where it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and we're shooting outside with modifiers.
So if we find ourselves shooting outside and it's a cloudy day, what we want to look at is how much light is coming through and how much shape we're actually getting. Often we're going to find that the amount of shape is really appropriate for what we want to shoot, and it produces a very soft image. But sometimes you're going to find that it's so overcast that you don't have enough shape. So a tip to actually get more shape on an overcast day is to take a 4x4 scrim gym, put a solid black on, the flag, and then use that as a negative fill. So in here, we're going to actually put this on the opposite side to the key, and then we're going to put it really close to our subject, and that's going to prevent any light from coming in on that side. And you notice it's going to bring it down several stops and give you much more shape on their face. So we've shown you some super simple techniques on how you can shoot outside with the sun. Now keep in mind that while we're showing these in an interview type setting, these techniques work in many other types of shoots outside as well. Especially if you utilize the larger scrim gym in an 8x8, you can move around and get soft light wherever you go.